Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here in June. A very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. Ouch. I don't do the touching. Are you feeling charitable? Please smash the subscribe button and the like button, and please do follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad, because all the snowflakes keep on unfollowing me because I keep on talking my mind about all the issues of the world. Boo freaking who. I suppose if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. But if I unfollowed everyone whose posts I didn't like, my timeline would be so bare. So welcome to the dceu Extra, because I've seen an interesting article from Heroic Hollywood about Superman, and the headline basically reads like this: Henry Cavill's return as Superman needs to be more than a supporting role. Now, I've done this rant so many times. We have not seen the most important character in fiction in a film of any note, either a cameo, and forget the Shazam thing, since 2017's abomination, Justice League, right? It's just not on. Now, after we finish ranting about this, we will talk about the Batman going back into production and what the Batman actually is and what they're trying to say in the film. Right. Henry Cavill's return as Superman needs to be more than a supporting role. The journey of Henry Cavill's Superman has been a rocky one. Cavill's future as the last son of Krypton had been in doubt for nearly 2 years, until a recent report revealed that the British actor is in talks to return to the role. His previous contract negotiations for the role fell flat, leaving us with a weird Superman cameo at the end of Shazam movie. Reports have also said that Cavill's return will be nothing more than an appearance in an upcoming DC movie, as Warner Brothers isn't actively developing a Man of Steel sequel. If this is the case, then this would be a huge disappointment here, since Cavill's Superman deserves so much more. Before landing the role of Superman for Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, Henry Cavill missed out on several high-profile parts in Harry Potter, James Bond, and even J.J. Abrams' Superman Flyby. Of course, not only did Cavill play Superman in Man of Steel, but he also reprised the role in 2016's Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice and 2017's Justice League. Man of Steel is one of the most controversial comic book movies of all time, but I believe that it's also one of the best, and Cavill is the main reason why. Never has there been an actor who resembles their comic book counterpart more than Cavill. But he also embodies the character in a timeless manner. Despite the world around him being incredibly modern and grounded, Snyder's interpretation of Superman challenged the idea of superhero by viewing him as an alien, which is what made it so interesting. It's clear that Snyder had more plans for Cavill's Superman by giving us a character arc that parallels Jesus Christ. Luckily, we will get to see a bit more of what Snyder intended with his Justice League cut that will give us his take on the resurrection of Superman. Regardless of what cut you follow, the end of Justice League, which is said to be the same for Superman in both versions, offers Warner Brothers an amazing opportunity to take the character in a new direction while still capitalizing on his arc in his previous DC Extended Universe appearances. In Joss Whedon's Justice League, the Superman we got is more in the vein of Christopher Reeve's take on the character, a version many people are comfortable with, and also a version many people are not comfortable with. Let's say that. Not me, but many people. The Snyder Cut will likely give us something different. Either way, I believe both Justice League versions put Superman in a place where he's about to enter his prime. Agreed. With 3 DCEU appearances under his belt, Henry Cavill's Superman has a complete origin story and an arch-enemy in the form of Lex Luthor. He also defeated General Zod and Doomsday, in addition to establishing his no-kill rule and forming relationships with other superheroes. There is now an opportunity to go further with Superman and explore more of this world. There are several exciting directions Warner Brothers could go in by introducing characters like Brainiac, Metallo, Bizarro, Superboy, and Supergirl. Exactly right. Warner Brothers was developing a Supergirl movie before we exclusively reported that the studio's focus has now been put back on Superman. However, when it was revealed that Cavill was in talks to return as Superman, it was said that discussions would be for an upcoming DC film as a supporting role, akin to Mark Ruffalo's role as the Hulk in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If I were to guess, Cavill will either turn up in Shazam 2 or The Flash, but either way, this return was will still be in a supporting role, which is an insult to Cavill and Superman for several reasons. I couldn't agree more. To get past the obvious reason first, Superman remains the most iconic superhero of all time. Yes. While Batman and Spider-Man might be more beloved, Superman will always be the crown jewel of the comic book world because he was the first superhero and because of everything he represents as an outsider to society. Cavill is also currently the star of one of Netflix's most popular shows right now with The Witcher, so it's clear audiences are interested in seeing more of the actor, especially in his most iconic role. Listen, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, people are creating accounts about him, people love Cavill. Simple as that. As a sex symbol, as an actor, as a god. There's so many reasons, but, everyone loves this guy. Going back to Man of Steel, the reception to the movie might have been mixed, but it's clear people enjoyed Cavill as Superman. Man of Steel also earned $668 million at the worldwide box office, which is more than Justice League, Shazam and Batman Begins, among other films. But let's be clear here, a Superman movie should be clearing $1 billion. I know it's never happened before, but it should. Man of Steel is also the highest grossing solo Superman movie by far, so Warner Brothers should follow it up with a proper sequel. While some, including Zack Snyder, might consider Batman v Superman a sequel to Man of Steel, it's time to put the focus back on Cavill's Superman because he is overshadowed by The Dark Knight. In that film, I don't agree. I think Superman and Batman share the screen and share the limelight. This is Superman's arc from Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. So I don't agree with that. I don't believe he's overshadowed. But it is the next chapter. It is a sequel to Man of Steel, but we need a continuation of Cavill's Superman, and that I definitely agree with. Henry Cavill isn't going to be able to play Superman forever, but it's clear that he loves the role. Audiences also love him as Superman, and he hasn't gotten a chance to properly lead a Superman movie in almost a decade. When Man of Steel first came out, it looked like Warner Brothers and DC were going to give it the Dark Knight trilogy treatment, but instead Marvel's The Avengers forced their hand, with audiences falling in love with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. When it comes to DC properties, Warner Brothers has proven time and time again that they are better at marketing standalone projects. Forcing Henry Cavill's Superman into other stories takes away from the other great DC superheroes and doesn't give Kal-El the spotlight he deserves. Therefore, the best option is for Cavill to return to the role of Superman, the way he deserves as the star of Man of Steel sequel. Hopefully, news of Cavill's return is just the start of what eventually puts a standalone Superman film in development over at Warner Brothers and DC. Well, absolutely. And who wrote this article? Because I want to give to this person a shout out. This is by Ryden Scarnato. Wow. Great article. And I echo most of those sentiments. Listen, we've come onto this channel before and we've discussed this so many times. Superman is the most important character in fiction. And again, I'll say it again, I'm sick to death of hearing comic book writers and movie directors and writers and say, hey, Superman's such a difficult character to write for. Why? An awesome alien with a pure heart, whose planet was destroyed. He never physically met his parents. It's tragic, right? It's a Greek tragedy, right? It's amazing. He's got all these awesome superpowers. He can fly. He's got great supporting characters like Lois Lane, Perry White, Jimmy Olsen. What is there not to like? What's so difficult? He's got Lex Luthor as an enemy. He's got Metallo. He's got Toyman. He's got Brainiac, got lots of awesome enemies, right, that they can utilize. Why wouldn't you want to make money? You make an awesome Superman movie and you are set up as a studio. So first of all, I will never understand the original leadership, which isn't Warner Media right now. It wasn't their decision to rest Superman since 2017's Abomination Justice League, right? That was Sujihara's decision, and it was a bad decision, right? But I've said it again, and I'll say it again and again. Basically, they blamed Superman for Justice League. They believed that Superman was the reason Justice League didn't make money, or that's what helped them sleep at night, right? It's pivotal now that Superman is front and center in this universe, and shoving him in cameos and saying you're not going to give him a film is just plain wrong. Now, I don't believe that's how Warner Media see it. I've said it before. I'll say it again. J.J. Abrams is developing a Superman film, with or without Cavill. That's important. We will see Cavill again in Zack Snyder's Justice League, which could be an extended Game of Thrones type TV series. But let's be clear, and I've also repeating myself here as well. If Disney owned the name of Superman, he would be absolutely freaking anywhere. You think that if Kevin Feige was in charge of Superman, he would have been benched for 3 years? No, you don't bench Superman, right? You don't bench him for 3 years. He's, as I say, one of the most important characters in fiction. And look at it this way. Look at what's going on now, right? With the riots, with Black Lives Matter. Superman is someone to aspire to, someone to look up to. And why aren't they utilising this character? It has to happen, and it has to happen now. Warner Media, right? If you don't give us this, I can't support you. I've supported Warner Brothers since the age of 10 when I watched the first Superman movie, Superman the movie, right? Directed by Dick Donner and starring Christopher Reeve. You know, I've given you lot a lot of green and a lot of support when other people have did you down. We deserve Superman front and centre. It's as simple as that. And to think that it's been 3 years with not a dicky bird, without a plan, with a disembodied, sorry, I can't get my words out, kind of guy in Shazam, which was basically the stuntman. That is absolutely outrageous. That should never have even happened in Shazam. You can't get Cavill, you either bring in a new actor or you just don't use him. But that was just stupid, right? The costume was crap, they got the costume wrong, and everything, right? Totally a disrespect for the character of Superman, right? And it's simply not right. It's simply not fair. You can do better, Warner Media, and you must do better. You've given us the Snyder Cut. That's so important. You've already spoken about giving fans what they need and what they want because they are the paying customer and they are important. I understand they've said they can't give us everything, and that's cool, but a bunch of Superman movies. I want Superman to cameo in all the films, and I want him to have his own movies. He is such an important character. And people saying he's not as popular as Spider-Man and Batman, I believe he is in the top 4 realm of superheroes. Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, Wonder Woman. They're all very popular and they always have been. Just give Superman the movie he deserves and he will shine. Zack Snyder believed in Superman. He made him front and centre of his story arc. And we're going to see that completed in Zack Snyder's Justice League, right? Maybe in chapters, maybe not in chapters, right? We do not know that at this moment in time. Superman matters, Superman's important, and he must get his own films. And as I say, to say that we've been waiting over 3 years now, right, for a Superman movie, and to think they cancelled Superman for Supergirl is a joke. And proves that Warner Brothers, as it was before AT&T and Warner Media got involved, is dumb. This is obviously an AT&T decision. They've scrapped the Supergirl film. And again, you should be developing a Supergirl to play alongside Superman. They should both have movies. They're both great characters. You should be expanding the Superman family. You shouldn't be cancelling one for the other. That's the most stupidest thing I've ever heard. Again, we've had this discussion. It's very boring, but I saw this article. I read this article, and I thought it was perfect to do an edition of the DCU Extra. And I know most of you agree how important Superman is. Right, one film that is in development is The Batman, directed by Matt Reeves. Now, we've seen some designs of the new Batmobile. Some people like it, some people don't. Now, from my point of view, what you're seeing here is the beginning of this guy designing his kind of platform of being Batman. So when you look at the Batmobile, it looks very similar to the 1960s Batmobile, but it's not completed yet. It's not the finished article because Robert Pattinson's Batman isn't going to be the finished article. He's going to be a work in progress. That's why his costume is the way it is. That's why the Batmobile is kind of looks like the Batmobile, but it's not the Batmobile. And I think that's a very interesting concept because it's kind of Batman Year One, and I know Batman Begins did the kind of the same thing, but I think this will be much more faithful to the comics. So they're going back to production again, which I'm really excited about. They're going. London are opening productions up again, which is really exciting. I don't know how long it will take for America to open up productions, but what's Actually, most stuff from Hollywood is filmed in London and other places as well, which is pretty cool. I know that they're continuing filming Avatar now, and I know that James Cameron and his team will have to self-isolate for 2 weeks before they start in Tunisia or something like that. Again, really, really good news. But yeah, I am excited for the Batman. But the Batman deserves a Superman movie alongside it. I'm excited with all the movies we've got coming and all the projects. But Superman deserves his very own platform. And to think that a studio rested him for 3 years is absolutely insane. I may not know the inner workings of Hollywood, but I do know Superman done properly means a happy audience, a happy consumer, and a happy studio making a lot of money. Comment down below. Like, share and subscribe, and I'll be back tomorrow with even more DCEU Daily. See you again soon.